Good morning, students. Welcoming all you for the sessions 2 of module 5, that is pneumatic and hydraulic actuation system. In previous sessions, we have discussed the various actuators in a pneumatic system as well as the classification of a hydraulic actuators. In these sessions, we have left out the portion of that previous sessions has been discussed, has to be discussed. Here, the concept of this non-positive displacement pumps has to be discussed. Here, the non-positive type of a non-positive displacement pump will be the flow output decreases because of the fluid slip back at higher resistance. The fluid flow is completely stopped at very large system resistance, and this volumetric efficiency will be 0. Means these are all rotodynamic type of a system, so the volumetric efficiency will be 0. Therefore, the flow rate not only depending upon the rotational speed but also on the resistance provided by the system. The important advantage of a non-positive displacement pumps are lower initial cost, less operating maintenance because the less moving part is involved, the simplicity in operation, the higher reliability and the sustainability and stability with the wide range of fluids. That's all the various advantages. The pump are primarily used for transmitting and transporting the fluid and find the little use in the hydraulic and fluid power industries. The centrifugal pump is the common example of the non-positive displacement pump. And coming to the positive displacement pump, these pumps are deliver a constant volume of a fluid in a cycle, discharge quantity per revolution. Means it has a fixed volume of the fluid will be discharged per revolution of this positive displacement pump. In these pumps, they produce the fluid flow proportional to their displacement and rotor speed. These pumps are used in most of the industrial fluid power applications. The output fluid flow is constant and independent of the system pressure. And the important advantages associated with this pump is that the high pressure and low pressure areas, means the input and output regions are separated, and hence the fluid cannot leak back due to the higher pressure at the outlet. Means we know that the pressure, whenever the flow is occurred because of the pressure differences only, so the section and delivery will be different locations, so flow back disadvantages is not presented in this system. This feature makes the positive displacement pump much suited and universally accepted for hydraulic system. The important advantages of the positive displacement pump over a non-positive displacement pump, including the capability of generating high pressure and high volumetric efficiency. Means some of various different positive displacement pumps are discussed in this chapter, that is the external gear pump, loop pump and internal gear pump as well as G-rotor pump. You can see these images or gear pump. This is loop pump, this is internal gear pump, this is what the G-rotor pump. As of the concept, we need to understand the external gear pump. The external gear pump is consisting of externally mesh two gears housed in a pump casing as shown in the image. This is the image, and one of the gear is coupled with the prime mover is known as the driving gear, and another is called as driven gear. Means it is the driving gear, it will be the driven gear. The rotating gear carries the fluid from tank to the outlet pipe, so that section of oil will be taken at the bottom. Means the fluid at low pressure has been sucked from the storing devices, and then it has been uh, compressed in this mechanism. Means the rotating gears carries the fluid from the tank to the outlet pipe. The suction side is towards the portion where the gear teeth come out of the mesh. When the gear rotates, means the volume of the chamber expands, lead to the pressure drop below the atmospheric value. So therefore the vacuum is created, the fluid is pushed into the void due to the atmospheric pressure. The fluid is trapped between the housing and rotating teeth. Between these spaces, the fluid has been trapped. Therefore, the fluid trapped between the housing and the rotating teeth. The discharge side of the pump is towards the portion where the gear teeth run into the mesh, and the volume decreases between the meshing teeth. The pump has a positive internal seal against the leaking. Therefore, the fluid is forced into the outlet port. The gear pumps are often equipped with the sideways wear plates to avoid the leakage. There is some provide the wear plates to avoid the leakage. For sealing purposes, the clearance between the gear teeth and the housing and between the side plates and the gear face is very important and play an important role in preventing the leakages. In general, the gap between this distance is less than the 10 micrometer. The amount of fluid discharge is determined by the number of gear teeth and the volume of the fluid between the each pair of teeth and the speed of rotation. The important drawback of a external gear pump is unbalanced side load on its bearing. It causes high pressure at the outlet and low pressure at the inlet, result in slower speed, and the lower pressure rating is additional to the reducing the bearing life. As of this overall the process, the bearing life will be very less. And then the gear pump is most commonly used in hydraulic fluid power applications, and widely they are used in chemical industries, and the and purpose of operating chemical also. The chemical installation of pump is pump fluid with certain viscosity we can prefer. Okay, and then this is what the lube pump is very similar to that pneumatic lube operator conditions. You can see this the suction of the oil has been taken in this side, and outlet will be high pressure oil will be like this. The low pump works on the similar principle of the working as the external gear pump. However, in a low pumps, the lobes do not make any contact like external gear pump, as seen our in cases. In this casing and the gear, there between the fluid has been trapped. Here there is no such arrangement has been provided. Here the loop contact is prevented by external limit timing gear located in a gearbox. Similarly to the external gear pump, the loop rotated to create the expand volume at inlet. Now the fluid flow into the cavity and trapped by the loops. The fluid travels around the interior of the casing in the pockets between the loops and casing. Finally, the meshing of the loops force the liquid to the outlet port so that bearing are placed out of this pumped liquid. Therefore, the pressure is limited by the bearing locations and the shaft deflection. Because of superb sanitary qualities and high efficiency, reliability, corrosion resistance, and the good cleaning place and steam in place characteristics, the lube pumps are widely used in industries such as pulp and paper and chemical, food, beverages, and medical process industries and the biotechnology process industries. These pumps handle a solid as well as liquid, just like slurries and paste. And paste means we having a higher viscosity fluids and a variety of liquid, variety of liquid. A gentle pumping action is minimum. The product degradation is also minimum, and they are all also offer the continuous and intermittent reversible flow, so relative independent of the change in the process pressure, and therefore the output is constant and the continuous. Lube pumps are frequently used in food applications, means the food process industries, because of they handle solid with without the damaging the product. So large sized particle can be pumped in a much effective manner than the other positive displacement type of actuators, as the loop do not make any direct contact. Therefore, the clearance is not close as in other positive displacement pumps. This has a significant design of pump to make this suitable to handle low viscosity fluids to with diminishing performance. Means the overall theory can be understand through this kind of pumps are used to handle the high viscosity fluids. These loading characteristics are not good as this other the designs, and the sectionability is very low, and high viscosity liquid are required to reduce the speed to achieve the satisfactory performance. The reduction in the speed can be 25% or more in case higher viscous fluid has been trapped between these loops. Means this is all serious effects, so that the power trapping and power reduction has been taken place. Means power requirement of power will be increased. As this is about that lube pump. Coming to the internal gear pump, this is what the internal gear pump. This is the casing of internal gears, and this is meshing gear. This is known as idler. This is crescent seal is provided, so that this is solid material. The trapping of the fluid has been taken place between this gears and the crescents. You can see there is some theory has been behind this. We need to understand the internal gear pumps are exploitatively versatile. They are often used for low or medium viscosity fluid such as solvents and fuel oil, and the wide range of temperature can be handled. This is non-pulsing and self-priming device, and can turn dry for shorter period. It is possible in this pump only. It is a variation of basic gear pump. It it compress it comprises of an internal gear and regular spur gear, I shown in an image, and the crescent shaped seal is also provided to avoid the leakage. The external housing and the schematic, the internal pump has been understand the concept to know the internal gear pump how it works. Liquid level through the pump between the teeth and crescent shape. The crescent divides the liquid and acts as a seal between the suction and the discharge port. So when the teeth meshes on the side opposite to the crescent seal, the fluid is forced out through the discharge port of a pump. Like this, the production, sorry, the upgradation of the pressure has been taken place from the lower, means the lower pressure to the higher pressure. This is the application of the gear pump. So this is what the different between very different between the external gear pump. So the fluid is trapped between this has been dropped between this inlet, means this shape, the crescent shaped seal, and then this internal gear space has been is utilized to make a higher pressure. So this clearance gear between can be adjusted to accommodate the high temperature, to handle the high viscosity fluid and accommodate the weight. These pumps are bi-rotational so that they can use it to load and unload in a vessel. As these pumps have only two moving parts and one stuffing box, therefore they are reliable and simple to operate, and they are very easy to maintain. However, these pumps are not suitable for high speed and high pressure application. Only one bearing is used in pump, therefore overhang load on the shaft bearing reduces the life of a bearing. So means in we have in a external gear pump there is two bearings for handling that inlet and outlet of the pressure. So here there is only one, so that the pressure handling is very limited. This is also various kind of devices. This kind of this kind of actuators are used in resin and polymer, alcohol industries and solvent industry, asphalt and bitumen, and like thick substances like tar, polyethylene foams and isocatane, ice, polyol, and food products such as corn syrup, chocolate, liquid chocolate, peanut butter, paint, ink, and pigments, soap industries, surfactants, glyco. Like various companies, various process industries are utilizes this kind of pump. And coming to the G-rotor pump, this is what G-rotor pump. This is center of rotation of outer gear. This is center of rotation of inner gear. Means this is what the bodies and this is what the inner. Okay, G-rotor is a positive displacement pump. The name G-rotor is divided from generated rotor. At the most basic level, the G-rotor is essential one that is moved via fluid power. Originally, this fluid was water. Today, the wider use in the hydraulic devices. The schematic as shown in the figure. This is the figure. The G-rotor pump is a type of internal gear pump without crescent. It consists of two rotors, that is inner and outer rotor. The inner rotor has n teeth and the outer teeth will be n plus 1 teeth. Means there will be an increase in one number. The inner rotor is located off center and both the rotors is rotated. The geometry of the rotor portion and the volume between them into the n different dynamically changing the values. During the rotation, the volume each portion has changed continuously. Therefore, any given volume first increases and then decreases, so that the compressing action or pressure increasing action has been taken place, and increase in a volume creates the vacuum. The vacuum creates the section, and due to this the part of the cycle sucks the fluid. As the fluid decreases, the compression action will be occurred. During this compression period, the fluid can pumped or compressed into the higher level. So this is what the internal gear pump is. This is what the G-rotor pump. The closed tolerance between the gear acts as the seal between this section and discharge port. Rotor and idler teeth meshes completely to form the seal equivalently from the discharge and section ports. This seals the force them the liquid out of the discharge port. The flow output is uniform and constant. The important advantage of these pumps are high speed operations and constant discharge at all pressure conditions, and bidirectional operation can be done. One stuffing box will be there as the moving part is concerned, and then however the pump is having some limitations, such a medium pressure operation condition can be handled. The clearance is fixed, solid cannot be pumped in this pump. The overhang load on the shaft bearing is a disadvantage. The application of this gear pump will be light. We can handle the light fluid, fuel oil and lube oil, cooking oil, as well as hydraulic fluids. As coming to this positive displacement, another type of pumps is also there, like vane pump. This is known as vane pump. In the previous gear pump, we have understand how the vane pumps are working. Like here, the two vanes are here. In this pump, having disadvantages of small leakage will be there due to the gap between the gear teeth and the pump housing. This limitation is overcome in a vane pump. This leakage is reduced by using the spring hydraulically located vanes placed in slots of driven rotor. Capacity and pressure rating of the vane pumps are generally lower than the gear pump, but reduced leakage given the improved volumetric efficiency around the 95%. The vane pumps are available in a number of vanes configuration, including the sliding vanes, fixed vanes, swinging vanes, rolling vanes, external vane, etc. Each type of the vane pump has own the advantages. For example, external vane pump can handle a large solid quantity. Means if you having handling the slurry, it can be very useful. And the fixed vane pump can handle only small liquid, small solids. Means very small amount of means in a slurry, very small amount of a solid can be handled. It cannot uses the large at for fixed vane pump, and it cannot create the good vacuum, so that suction action will be very low. The sliding vane pump can run dry for a short period of time and can handle a small amount of vapor also. Means this is the cavitation. Based on the concept of cavitation, this is very harmful for a pump. The cavitation will cause the very harmful effect on pump, like noising and vibration will be there because of that vacuum. Means the vapor pressure has import some disadvantages. The vane pumps are also known as the dry priming, SN maintenance, and good section characteristics. Operating range between the minus 32 degree to 260 degree. And the vane pumps generally consist of two rotors, as we can observe in these images. Two rotors and the ring and the port plate and the inlet and the outlet ports. The rotor in a vane pumps connected to the prime mover through the shaft. The vanes are generally movable in a slot. The rotor is essentially placed inside the cam ring so that it controls its actions. The rotor is sealed into the cam by side plates. When the prime mover rotates the rotor, the vanes are thrown outward due to the centrifugal force. The vanes track along the ring. It provides the tight hydraulic seal to the fluid, which is more at higher rotational speed due to the higher centrifugal force. This produces the section cavity in a ring as the rotor rotates. It creates the vacuum at the inlet, therefore the fluid is pushed into the pump through the inlet, the fluid is carried around the outlet by the vein. Those interaction cause the fluid as the expelled. The capacity of pump depending upon the eccentricity, the expansion of a vein, width of the vein, and the rotor of the speed of the rotor. It can be noted that the thin liquid, the viscosity is very low, that can also handle. It is relatively high pressure, can be handled. These pumps can run at dry for a very small short period of duration. Without failure, you can handle this dry operations. These pumps develop the good vacuum due to the negligible leakages. However, these pumps are not suitable for high speed applications like fluid operations, which is required more pressure, and maintenance cost is also higher due to the many moving parts. These pumps have various applications like in aerosol and propellants, aviation services for transferring the fuel, and design, the auto industries for like fuels, lubes, refrigerant, coolant, and in bulk transfer, LPG and NH3, in LPG filling, alcohols, refrigerant transfer, that is freon and ammonia, and aqua solutions, like different can be handled. After that, unbalanced vane pump. This is what the unbalanced vane. It consisting of vanes, rotors, and casing. This is the is just like a rotor vane pump, as previously we discussed in pneumatic. In this practice, the vane pump have more than one vane that has been located their own slot within the housing, and the vanes constrained by the cambering, they are across the inlet and outlet port. Although the vane tips are held by against the housing, still the small amount of leakage will exist between the rotor face and the body side. Also, the vane compensate to the large degree of wear at the vane tips or in the housing itself. The pressure difference between the outlet and the inlet port create the large amount of load, and the vane and the significant amount of side load and the rotor side shaft, as well as which can be lead into the bearing failures. This type of pump is always used, known as your unbalanced type of vane pump. As coming to this balanced vane pump, this is known as balanced. It consisting of cambering, inlet port, outlet port. This is rotation. This is what the slot means. There is an ellipse type of a cambering is provided. We can have this pump within the cambering, so that inlet and outlet port has been operated. The pressure loading still occur in a vane, but two identical pumps create the equal and opposite forces on the rotor. It leads to the zero net forces on the shaft, so that there is no unbalanced forces on the shaft as well as the bearing. Thus leaves the pump very long, as well as significantly it has longer life. Also, the sound and vibration decreases in a running mode of a pump. And there is some more pumps are there in a system. We can understand this adjustable vane pump. This is what the adjustable vane pump. The proper design of this pump is important, and the challenging task is ideal conditions. The capacity of the pump should be exactly same to the load requirement. The pump larger capacity waste the energy, means as the excess fluid will be passed through the pressure relief valve. It also leads to the rise in fluid temperature due to the energy conversion and the heat instead of the useful work. Therefore, it is needed some external cooling arrangement, so that the therefore, the higher capacity pump is increase the power consumptions and make the system bulky and costly. The pumps are generally available with certain standard capacities, and the users as choose the next availability capacity of this pump. Also, the flow rate from the pump, the most hydraulic application needs the varying as per the requirement. Therefore, some vane pump are also available at adjustable capacity. As shown in the image, we can understand the adjustable inner casing. Means this casing, the casing of this sealing of cam can be adjusted through some operating conditions. These pumps basically consisting of two rotors, that is vane, another is cam ring, port plates, and thrust bearing for guiding the cam ring, and the discharge control screw by which the portion of the cam ring relative to the rotor can be varied. Means it has some versatile application. We can handle the volume can be operated through this system. This can be changed, so it has advantages. In general, the adjustable vane pumps are unbalanced type of a pump. This amount of fluid that displaced by the vane pump running at constant speed determines the maximum extension of the vanes, and the vane width. However, for pump running in the operation, the width of the vane cannot be changed, but the distance which the vane extend can be varied. This possible by making the provision for changing the position of the cam ring adjustable inner case relative to the rotor as shown in the figure. The eccentricity of the rotor with respect to the cam is adjustable by the movement of the screw. The delivery volume is increases with increasing the eccentricity. So this kind of arrangement can be used to achieve the variable volume from the pump and is known as the variable displacement pump. In general, we can adjust the vane pump or pressure compensated. It means that the discharge is controlled by pre-adjusted values, and when the discharge pressure reaches the certain value, the pumping action is easy. Means this mechanism is accomplished by using compensating spring to offset the cam ring. Initially, the eccentricity is maximum because of the discharge pressure is 0, and the spring force kept the cam ring at the extreme right position. As the discharge pressure increases, in acts as an inner counter of the cam ring, it pushes the cam ring outward the left against the spring force, and hence eccentricity is reduces. Means whenever the eccentricity is reduces, the capability of that transmitting will be increases, and hence the discharge through this pump will be reduces. When the discharge pressure become high, so that it overcome the entire spring forces, the condition will be different. The pump action is very easy, the fluid flow, except the small leakages will be there, do not in a much more manner. Therefore, the system pressure can be adjusted by the setting the compensatory spring. Really, this is very good arrangement. We can have this in many applications in automotive, transmission, and different process industries also. Okay, these are all the actuators, rotary type of actuators. And then axial piston pumps. In piston pumps, there are two type of classification. There axial piston pump as well as radial piston pump. Coming to the axial piston pump are positive displacement pump, in which convert the rotary motion of the input shaft into the axial reciprocating motion of the piston. These pumps have number of piston usually on the add number in circular array within a housing, which is commonly referred to the cylindrical block, rotor, or a barrel. These pumps are adjusted in a jet aircraft. They are also used in a small earth moving plants such as skid loader mechanisms. Another is used in drive the screw for torpedoes. In general, this system have the maximum operating temperature about 120 degree. This is leakage between the cylinder housing and the body block is used for cooling the lubricating of the rotating part. This cylindrical block rotates by an integral shaft aligned with the piston. And axial piston pump can be classified into bent axial pump and swash plate axial pump. These are all the bent axial pump as well as swash plate axial pump. These are different piston pumps we can handle. Means the axial piston pumps are positive displacement pump in which convert the rotary motion of the input shaft into axial reciprocating motion of a piston. This piston has have some number of piston, usually odd number, in this circular array, and then we can understand this a very different kind of manner. So we have two different, that is bent axis pump as well as swash plate. The bent axis pump, as shown in the figure, the reciprocating action of the piston is obtained by bending the axis of the cylindrical block. The cylindrical block rotate at an angle which is inclined to the driving shaft. The cylinder block is turned by the driving shaft through the universal link. The cylindrical block is set offset angle within the drive shaft. The cylindrical block contain the number of piston along the periphery, so that these piston rods are connected with the drive shaft flange by ball and ball socket